Oh my goodness. Hi, Passionators. It's been a minute, huh? I missed you guys. How are you? I'm out here in these streets making some vitamin D. This is probably the last. Did I just say that? Last is a four-letter word. Oh my goodness. It's probably the last sundress weekend of 2017 for me, though. So I made sure I put on my favorite sundress for this one, okay? I'm going to squeeze every ounce of fabulous out of this day that I can. The weather is perfect for it. I'm in one of my favorite pretty places that I like to bring you guys to all the time anyway. So, I just thought I'd check in with you guys because it's been a while. So let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if the audio is good. I'm having a little trouble with my earbuds every now and again. So yeah, it helps. Hi, Michelle. It's so good to see you here, girl. So yeah, just let me know what's up. Can you hear me and all that good stuff? And then we'll take this party and see where it goes. How about that? I did have to talk this. Hey, John, thank you for letting me know. Cause yes, your girl has her share of technical difficulties every now and again. But I just wanted to talk to you guys. Dr. D in the building. How are you all the way over there? It's good to see you here too. Thank you, Leola. I appreciate the check-in. So, did you all check out the title that I'll put on this one? Because, yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a checkpoint for us all about our egos. Hi, Jerry. Thank you. And I wanted to talk to you, one, because I missed you all, and I haven't been here for a while, and this probably is my last sundress day. Oh, my goodness. But meanwhile, once again, I'm always ear hustling somewhere. And I heard a particularly disturbing conversation, actually, about a married couple. And it was third party, meaning that she wasn't referring to herself, she was referring to somebody that she knew. And her friend apparently had relayed this information to her. So she was talking about this incident where her friend had told her that her friend's husband, well, let's label them to make this simple, okay? So Lisa was married to Ray, right? And while Lisa was asleep, Ray decided he wasn't going to take no for an answer anymore, and he had sex with her while she was asleep. So Lisa was very upset about that because she had already been in a tense situation with Ray. They had been fighting for the entire week. They hadn't really resolved what it was that they had been fighting about previously. And that was part of the reason why they hadn't been intimate all week. So apparently they were still discussing that, still trying to resolve it and work it out. And he waited until she went to sleep. And the rest, as they say, is history. And I mention that not only because it is a horrible idea, not only because it's just a violation in every sense of the word, not only because it can have legal ramifications as well, but primarily because it typifies a problem that I see way too often when I'm talking to couples about their relationships. They lead the conversation with, I expect my relationship to be like this. I expect my relationship to go like that. I want this. That's why I got in this relationship in the first place. And I was getting it before. I'm not getting it now. And that's not fair. That's not right. That's not what I deserve. I deserve better than this. I want more than that. On and on and on and on. right? So what we have to keep in mind, and maybe it's not something we need to keep in mind, it's just a new idea for a whole lot of us, because too many of us get into relationships for those exact same reasons. And while we may be a lot less extreme than Ray about trying to get what it is we want, we can be relentless about how we choose to get what we want, and how vicious and brutal we can be when we don't. That can be a very big problem. This idea that you're entitled to your partner just because you're in a relationship together is killing us from the inside out. You're not entitled to get what you want just because you're in a relationship. Your partner isn't obligated to give you what you want just because they're your partner. They are not there to make you happy. I'm going to say that again. They are not there to make you happy. Happiness is not your partner's job. Your happiness is your job. You have to create that. And it's something that you carry in your life with or without a partner. But you are not entitled to what you want because you think you want it, because you think you deserve it, because you think it's the right thing to do. None of that has anything to do with how people treat you. People don't treat you the way you allow. People treat you the way you are. Correction. People treat you the way they are. It doesn't have anything to do with you. If I'm a respectful person and you're behaving disrespectfully, until you touch me or violate my body in some way, I'm going to be a respectful person anyhow. It doesn't have anything to do with you. It doesn't have anything to do with how you treat me or what you say to me. It has everything to do with who I am as a person. It is my personal integrity that shows up in any relationship, no matter who that relationship is with. The way I treat people isn't dependent on how people treat me. It depends on how I deem I'm going to treat them. Now, is there an element of reciprocity? Is there an element of harmony? Is there an element of I'm going to gravitate toward people that I vibrate in harmony with, whose disposition is very much like mine? Yes, I'm going to have my best times with them. I'm going to spend the most time with them. I am going to be happiest about spending my time with them. And I'm not going to tie myself into a pretzel to help my little friend here. Got it? There you go. Be careful. He's so cute. Have fun. He's probably 4 years old. He's so adorable. But anyway, what people do to you, with you, around you is much more about them than it is about you. Here's another way it shows up typically. Women who are dressed one way versus another way. Women who are dressed like they just got off a stripper pole compared to women who are dressed like they just came out of a boardroom, right? We all know this. We all know this. The woman who is dressed like she just got off a stripper pole, walking down the street with somebody who just looked like she stepped out of a corporate meeting, could pass the same person. And that same person will address those two women in entirely different ways. That's not about those two women. That's about the person addressing those two women. Because I'll tell you something, a gentleman passing those two women will address both those women the same way. A man who is generally respectful of women anyway is going to address those women in the same way. Now, if one woman demonstrates a negative attitude, he will simply remove himself from the situation. That's just how it is. They're not looking for something to fight about, and they're not looking to convince anybody of anything. They're not trying to change anybody. They allow people to be who they are, and they accept the fact that not everybody thinks the way they think, or acts the way they act, or values the same things that they value, and they're cool with that. They don't feel as though it's their obligation to make people think more like they think. Just saying. How do I say this? When we go into a relationship with another person, seeking what it is we want. I didn't know I was going so low on battery so fast, so I'll try to speed this up. When we go into a relationship seeking what we want from another person, we set ourselves up for disappointment, for frustration, and failure, because we can't even get that right on a consistent basis from ourselves. We don't even try to get it on a consistent basis from ourselves many times. And we paint that responsibility onto other people as if it's their job to do it, since we refuse to do it. And that is how we continue to set ourselves up for relationship chaos and mayhem, until we decide that we are the primary caretakers of our own feelings. We are going to continue to repeat this cycle of disappointment, of frustration, of anger, out of control. And reality TV is going to love us for it, but our relationships are going to continue to suffer for it. We have to understand, we have to accept, we have to embrace that our relationships are a collaboration. We are a team with each other, not over each other. We cannot win in a partnership unless we do it as a partnership. We're still so busy trying to be right that we can't get back to being in a relationship. We argue about things that have no bearing on the relationship at all. We're just trying to be right because we can't stand to be wrong, because that feels like losing. Even the language around it is competitive, is adversarial. There's nothing about even the language that draws us together. We gotta watch our mouths. We gotta watch how we talk about our relationships. We have to watch how we speak about our partners in our relationships. And in order to do that, we have to change the way we think about them. They are not there to serve us. Serving us is something that becomes a byproduct of wanting to be with us. It's something that someone wants to do who genuinely cares about what matters to you. They show up and they want to facilitate that for you. Whatever is important to you, whatever your dreams are, they want to do whatever they can do to make them come true for you even more quickly than you can do on your own. Whatever your fears are, they want to do everything they can to shrink those fears, hopefully until they disappear, so they can get out the way, so that you can keep living the fabulous life that you were put here to live. That's what love does. All those are byproducts of love. Those things cannot be manipulated out of anybody. They can't be bullied out of anybody. They can't be taken from anyone. You can't yell it, scream it, fuss it, fight it, buy it, sex it, next it from anybody, whether you have a marriage license or not. You're not entitled to anybody outside of your own skin. Now, especially once you get married, you've made an agreement to fill certain roles for each other, right? That nobody else on earth is allowed to feel for you. That's part of the agreement. That's part of the deal. That's the contract you agreed to. And if you get into the relationship and then decide to breach the contract, there are always consequences for breaching a contract. But it is not your responsibility to bring the consequence. Your responsibility is just to continue in your integrity. It is to continue to be honest. It is continue to show up authentically at all times, no matter what the issue is. Authentically. Stop pretending to be what it is you think is expected and do what it is that's authentic to you. Be that person. Do whatever that is. Keep your relationship on that basis, not this basis. Stay authentic. And if authentically you find yourself with somebody who is incompatible with what you know, you are unwilling to negotiate. I'm going to say that again. You find yourself in a relationship with somebody who is incompatible with what you know, you are unwilling to negotiate, then get out of the relationship. That's all. That is, if that's what's going on, that is not your cue to change them into what you want them to be. It is not your cue to convince them that their point of view is wrong. It is not your cue to do whatever it is you think you can do to manipulate them into doing what you want them to do anyway. That's not what that is. That is your signal to get out of the way so that you can make room in your life and theirs for somebody who is compatible with what they know they are unwilling to negotiate. There are multiplied millions of negotiations you're going to have to make in any successful relationship just to keep it successful. I understand that. And I also understand that there are some things that are never negotiable. And those things need to be established before you even get into a relationship. And when you run into that brick wall of I'm not negotiating this, period, this isn't up for discussion. Ever. When you run into that brick wall, it's time for you to stop running and back that thing up and get out. Just get out. Stop trying to make something into what it was never meant to be in the first place. Oh, and here's another favorite. Yeah, well, it's hard to do that. I've been here so long. Oh my God, it's been 20 years. Oh my God, it's been 30 years. So your answer to that is to give it 10 more? So your option is to give more of your irreplaceable life to it. Your option, that's your other option? How is that working for you? How is that working for you? How does that get you any closer? How does that even have the opportunity to get you any closer to what you know is authentically you? How? Until you are willing to let go of your status quo, you can give up on the idea that you will ever have what it is you deserve. If the kind of love that you marvel about in other people is what you really want for yourself, then you have to be willing to put it all on the line. All of it. Because that kind of love is an all or nothing proposition. You can't halfway, part way, sideways, this way, not that way. Maybe these two ways, but not those ways. It's all of you, all the time. All of you, all the time. And until you are prepared to walk away when that's not what's happening, you will always be trapped in your own frustration, in your own fear, in your own agony of your own creation. No matter how much you want to blame your partner, no matter how wrong your partner actually is, as long as you're willing to accommodate whatever it is that they're doing to you, understand that that accommodation is what makes it possible. Said another way, when you stop putting up with it, you'll stop having to put up with it. When you stop making room for it, it will have no more room in your life. When you stop living with it, it will stop living with you. Your love story is being written with the pen of your heart, not someone else's. You decide. You do that. Your feelings are not your mate's responsibility. Now, sure enough, they can do some things to set off some stuff in you, and they know that. Especially if you're long term, they know that. And that may even be exactly why they're doing the things that they're doing. But you know what? That has nothing to do with how you respond. Why they do what they do isn't even relevant. What you do is the only thing that matters. What you do. Not how you feel. What you do. Not how you feel. Your feelings are going to change with the wind blowing. They're going to go up and down and sideways. Feelings are some of the most fickle things on earth, and we all know that. They will change. But what you live with is what you do. That's what you live with. You don't live with why people did stuff that they do to you. You live with what they did to you. So when you're in a situation where the relationship isn't going the way you want it to go, you aren't getting the needs met that you know you need in order to have peace of mind. Can I say POM is priceless? Then if you don't have it in your relationship, there's really no point in you being there. Like, really no point in you being there. But that's another video, and I don't want to run out of battery before I get there. But I just want to remind you, in the best possible way that I can, your relationship status is yours. And that's the best news I could give you. Even though it's the worst news that some of you will think you'll hear today. It is still the truth, and it is the best news that I could give you. Just because that means the outcome of your relationship is in your control. It's not in anybody else's hands. It's in your hands. Your magic and your misery are in your hands. The operative word is you. You can shut down your misery anytime. Anytime. Now, granted, there are some extreme cases where personal health and safety and lives and all of that are involved, and you need more time to strategize a safe exit. Do that. By all means, do that. But understand that even in that extreme situation, it's not going to get better. It is not going to get better. And until we let go of this false hope that you'll somehow get back to the way it was, that's not where it's going. That's not ever where it's going. Even in the best of situations, it is not going back to the way it was. The best that you can hope for is an evolution into something that was even better than it ever started out to be. But that takes two willing people. Two willing people who have embraced the responsibility for their own feelings. And until you take responsibility for that, you are always going to set yourself up to be at the mercy of the actions and the feelings of somebody else. And how is that working for you? I don't know about you, but I've never seen that work out well for anybody. Because the people that I do know that are in happy marriages, that have been in those happy marriages for 20 years or more, can I tell you this? They aren't even close to the people they were when they married each other. They've changed, and they've changed quite a bit. And they've had heartaches, and they've disappointed each other, and they betrayed each other, and they let each other down, and they've lost all kinds of money over and over, and they've lost health over and over. They have buried people repeatedly, and they smile when they see each other. Know that that's not an accident. That isn't just because they magically fell in love with each other and it never went anywhere and nothing ever went wrong. That's not how that happened. But it is because of their own dedication to the commitment that they made to each other and to their fully conscious awareness that they are in charge of their own lives. They're in charge of their own feelings, and they're willing to embrace facts, whatever the facts are. They don't allow their feelings to run their lives. And most of us are running our relationships by our feelings. As when we grow up and get that out the way, we'll have much happier relationships. That's the byproduct. The happiness that most of us are chasing is a byproduct. It's a byproduct of choosing a compatible partner that we're wildly attracted to, who isn't responsible for how we feel about ourselves. Uh-oh. It's not your partner's job to determine how you see yourself. I'll say that again. It is not your partner's job to determine how you see yourself. Your partner and nobody else on earth should ever have the power to define you for you. That's your job. Because whoever your partner chooses to be a partner with has to be a fully formed, fully aware adult in order to be a partner. I'm down to 10%, y'all. I'm gonna cut it short here. You know this is short for me. It's been a while since I've been here, and I got all excited when I saw you all coming on, so thank you. But I am down to 10%, so I guess I better check out before I get checked out. But I hope you enjoy the rest of this magnificent day. And to everybody caught in the path of the hurricane, your best is yet to come. It is yet to come. Thank you for your time, Passionators. Stay safe. Enjoy your weekend. Go hug somebody. It's some of the best medicine in the world. It'll fix whatever ails you. Especially if you get one from a little person. They are some of the best. They hug with their whole bodies. It's pretty awesome. But spread some love today. every day, but definitely today. I love you totally. Have a great one, Passionators. Thanks for coming. Bye bye.